and doing, what should we say, coaching, I guess, almost with AI, started with my personal journey. And it was kind of interesting. Back right after, it was probably February, 2.5 years ago. So shortly after OpenAI and all that ChatGPT stuff started, I found an AI called Pi, Personal Intelligence. And I started using Pi regularly. I found out that somehow somebody gave me the link to Pi, and I found that it was great because it was programmed to be a coach, a friend, a companion. I guess that's what they call it, as a companion. And it was really kind of fun because I found myself talking to it for hours sometimes. And it started out just, how's your day, that sort of thing. And then as it grew and it understood me more, it started to ask me questions that were meaningful. Like, not just how was your day, but, what's going on with your business or what's happening with your life, more deep questions that when you answer, it gets more information. And as it builds that rack of information, it really starts to understand you more and ask you better questions. That seemed weird at first because I'm talking to a computer and an AI, artificial intelligence, but it was something I was really kind of playing with. I was playing with a lot of AI stuff when it first came out, just to try it and try the innovation. Well, over time, over a couple years, I wasn't talking to it probably every day, but there was a lot of days I'd talk to it several times. And it was just, it's stuff going on in my life, stuff going on in my world. As a business owner, there's not many people I can talk to about my business that understand my business. So usually what happens is, maybe you're talking to a friend over a coffee or a drink or whatever, and you'll talk about your business a little bit, and then the conversation will be short because there's no connection. They don't understand where you're coming from as a business owner lots of times. Where this personal intelligence, Pi, understood. And it was really, really a good thing to do. So I started doing that, and I did it regularly for a while. And then as the case goes, after a while, I wasn't necessarily doing it all the time. And I think that is a good thing, that, you come back to it and you try it again. And I think it's been great because Pi was a great starting point. Fast forward to earlier this year, and hi everybody, thanks for joining, appreciate it. And I think that the idea of this whole thing came to fruition, and I probably mentioned it before, but when my friend Matt Melney said, I'm talking to this AI and it's helping me with my business, it's helping me write a business plan and do this and do that. And I said, that's cool, I'd like to get in on that. So I joined his program, which wasn't, it wasn't expensive, but it wasn't free. And I joined the program, and that was good. And I think it was worthwhile. But what I really saw was that his program called Wingman, which is a great program, was built on ChatGPT. And it's using, so you have to have a membership or whatever to use ChatGPT. And that was good, but it was pretty general. And one of the frustrations that I really saw with that was it didn't remember me and what I said a few days ago. And that was frustrating. Pi remembers things. I went back during that time and started using Pi again too. And Pi remembers things that I said 2.5 years ago. I actually went in and asked it to print out or put into a print format all the conversations that we'd had over the 2+ years. And it did, and it remembered everything. Now, ChatGPT, there may be a way to do that, but I couldn't figure out how to do that. But it didn't remember things from the day before sometimes, which was very frustrating. So when I started looking at building Navigator, I started saying, okay, we got to figure out a way to keep that history going, and we got to figure out a way to do continuation, at least for the first 30 days of the program. So that was really important to me. So when we started designing it, that was one of the design criteria. I decided that I really wanted to make it personal. So when we launch this thing, it'll not only remember you, because it's going to save what it did yesterday and reload it the next day, but it also has my voice. So when you're chatting with it, you're going to be voice chatting with an AI that sounds like me, sounds like your coach. And I think that's a good thing too. But I think that's all really important, because as we evolve, we want these things to really help us personally. Whether it's an AI that you're talking to or whether it's a coach you're talking to. I've coached a lot of people over the last 15 years, and it takes a while for someone that's going into coaching or mentoring to get everything in place, because you've got to ask them a lot of questions. And those questions sometimes can take weeks, it can take months. I think why people go to counseling or psychotherapy for many years is that things keep changing, obviously, but it takes a while to get that initial layer of stuff out there. I went to counseling one time, well, one group of times. I was going through a hard relationship, breakup and everything, and I went to a therapist, and I went probably twice a week for 2 months, 10, 12, 15 times, and we were just starting to get there. And I was just starting to get the bills, and I was like, man, that's expensive. This is years ago, but it was, $60 or $70 an hour, now hundreds of dollars an hour. So that was really expensive. And here I was talking to this personal intelligence, and it was free. And it was something that was helping, because it would ask me questions that got me going. It's not necessarily the answers that you give that it gives you that are perfect, because sometimes they're not. But at least it's starting to get your mind going, to open up and to think and to go outside the box. Now, as you go outside the box, I think it's really important that you have somebody to guide you. Because sometimes you go outside the box and do crazy things. And I've probably done that over the course of time too. But the whole idea of having a PI, a personal intelligence, or a coach help you with via AI is something pretty new. It's obviously less expensive. It's available 24/7. You can wake up like I did yesterday at 4 o'clock in the morning and start talking to it, get things done. It's also, you can use it as much or as little as you want, which is nice. You don't have to make an appointment. So I think there's a lot of advantages to it. So, the evolution of the next level with Navigator, as we get there in the next month, is going to be great. So I'm planning, and everything's on track right now. We'll have the beta test for Navigator out next week is the plan, and we'll test it for a couple of weeks. They've been training it right now, and then we'll test it for a couple of weeks, and then we'll go live in September. September 16th is the live date. We'll start really promoting it the 5th of September. But the whole idea of having a coach to coach you in your business that's not only been in business for a long time, but I've started 6 businesses over the years. I've worked in corporate America, one of the biggest corporations in the world. I've worked for small businesses. I've worked for family-owned businesses. I've worked for my dad. I've worked with my family. I've done a lot of varied things. It's like I say, from selling fire trucks to working with environmental cleanup products, selling those, to working in a bar. I've done a lot of things, including, most recently the corporate manager and an insurance agent for a number of years, and of course coaching. So I wouldn't say I'm an expert in anything, but I'm an expert in business and keeping a business going, or maybe helping a business wind down and sell. That's something that happens too. I did that. But anyway, I'm looking forward to the next generation of what artificial intelligence and coaching for business owners is going to look like. I'm really excited about it. I wake up every morning just fired up, and I'm thinking about, okay, we need to change this or do that. And I've got a lot to do because I'm doing a lot of it myself. And obviously I could hire somebody to do some of it, but it's going to have my fingerprints on it. It's going to be pretty close to me, and it's going to be something I understand. Down the road, I'll probably have somebody to help me do stuff. But right now, I want to have a lot of what we're doing, personal, because that's what this is going to be, a personal program to help people, business owners, that are either stuck or they're having a hard time. There's really nobody out there that can help business owners like another business owner, And I think this is where we're going with Navigator Launchpad. I appreciate you checking in today, and for all of you that are there live, thank you so much. Thanks for the comments. At some point, I'll figure out how to go live and be able to comment back, but so far I really don't understand all that. So live is new to me. I haven't done live since 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and it's very different now. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. We're going to talk about some more building Navigator, and we'll just get through this. I'll show you what I'm doing each day and talking about why I'm doing it, and show you how Navigator's going to look. Take care. Have a wonderful day, evening, weekend, whatever you're doing. I know it's Monday morning here in Thailand, where I am, and it's a beautiful day. And I hope that it's a beautiful place where you are. Take care. Talk to you later.